Sistema. Alright, what I want to do is go over the Tinto Talks for Europa Universals 5 since it's been announced. And yeah, hopefully, after reading all of this, all of the Tinto Talks, you'll be ready for the game when it comes out because I am assuming I'm not getting early access like the your usual suspects, content creators get. So the best I can do is watch their streams and, well, do my own research. So let's go over it. This is February 28th, 2024. Hello everyone and welcome to, yeah, what is it actually, really? This is from Johan. Is this a game called Tinto Talks? No, not really. First of all, Tinto stands for Paradox Tinto, the studio which we founded in Sitges in 2020 and with a few people moving down with me from PDS to Spain. I'm sorry. We have now grown to be almost 30 people. Now that is out of the way. What about the talks part? Well, what I want to do is go over the Tinto Talks for Europa Universals 5 since a long time ago we started talking about a game as soon as we started working on it. Back in the long almost forgotten past, we used to make games in about 8 to 9 months. I remember us announcing Wiki 3, Wiki 2 and with just two mock-up screenshots and half a page of ideas. This changed a bit over time, with first the rule of not announcing a game until it passed its alpha milestone in case it would be cancelled, as happened with Runemaster. And then when projects started going from an 18-month development cycle with games like European Ourselves 4 to many years like our more recent games, the time from announcement to release became much closer to the release of the game. Why does this matter? Well, from a development perspective, communicating with the players is extremely beneficial as it provides us with feedback. But if it's so late in the development process that you cannot adapt to the feedback, then a development diary is just a marketing tool. I think games like Imperator might have looked different if we had involved the community earlier and listened to the feedback. If we look at Hearts of Iron 4, this was from the first time we talked about air warfare about 10 years ago, and it has not much in common with the release version. However, talking about a game for a long, long time is not great for building hype either. And to be able to make proper huge announcements an important part as well. So what is this then? Well, we call this subforum Tinto Talks. We'll be talking about design aspects of the game we are working on. We'll not tell you which game it is, nor be able to tell you when it will be announced, nor when it will be released. We will be talking with you here almost every week because we need your input to be able to shape this game into a masterpiece. Without you and your input, that will not be possible. So what about Project Caesar then? Project Caesar? Yeah. At PDS, which Tinto is a child of, we tend to use Roman emperor leader names for our games. Augustus was Stellaris, Titus was CK3, Sulla was Imperator, Nero was Room Master, Caligula was Victoria Tree, etc. We even named our initial MT project for Clausewitz and Gemini that we base every new game on Marius. In quarter two, in second quarter 2020, I started writing code on a new game, prototyping new systems that I wanted to try out. I'm sorry. Adapting the lessons learned from what had worked well and what had not worked well. Plus, recruiting. Oh, I'm sorry. I have been smoking quite a lot recently. That is the case here with my lungs. Plus, recruiting for a completely new studio in Product Center, training people on how to make these types of games, while also making some expansions for European Universal Store. Today, though, even though we are a fair bit away from announcing our new game, we want to start talking weekly about the things we have worked on to get your feedback on it, and adapt some of it to become even better. However, we'll start with the vision, which is not really something you do change at this stage. Believable world, you should be able to play the game and feel like you're in a world that makes sense and feels rich and realistic while not making the game less accessible. Features should be believable and plausible and avoid abstraction unless necessary. Setting immersion. Our game thrive on player imagination and what if scenarios. We ensure both a high degree of faithfulness to the setting which will give a special feel to the game. We will strive to give this game the most in-depth feeling of flavor possible. Replayability. Well, this is Europa Universal's replayability. 10,000 hours and counting. 12 actually. There should be many ways to play different starts and reasons to play them. Different mechanics in different parts of the world create a unique experience depending on what you choose to play. With a deep and complex game, there should be so many choices and paths that the player should feel they can always come back to get a new story with the same start. Yeah, sounds ambitious, right? Yeah, uh, it's quite hard to pull off. I get it, but it's not really that ambitious in the aspects that it's not a new game. It's Europa Universalis so far. Replayability, Europa Universalis. Setting immersion, Europa Universalis. Believable world, it's a new game with ambition. Yeah, quite a lot of ambition. Agreed, but I don't know. I've had ideas. Uh, Two ambitious ideas that seeing the word ambitious here made me feel a bit, I don't know, upset. And that is not if I don't know. They are not falling short of what ambition should be. I'm reaching too far in my ideas is what I can fairly see. For example, the the photo I shared in the caption of the movie, the volcanic map of the world, of the globe. Was it this? Yeah, these are the volcanic eruptions happening in the world every day. Not around the globe, not every day. So not, yeah, I don't know, something like that. I'm not gonna get into that now. Let's keep going. Which games do you think represent the players well? Well, all of your games represent those pillars quite well. Enough, but I believe Imperator Rome and Europa Universalis do the best. Come closest. So, let's go. Next one, Tinto Talks number 2. That's year. Alright. So, Tinto Talks number 2, March 6th. Again from Johan. Let's go. Alright, this is a quite an interesting map. The Ainu Islands, these islands are a lot more detailed, and Korean Peninsula is also a lot more. Yeah, I like this quite a lot. Ryukyu is, yeah, representations of islands is a lot better. I don't know if those are terrain that you can colonize or not, but the representation is a lot better. This is a world map. My favorite, the the Flores Islands. They didn't make the cut. By the way, when I see this region, I always go to the last Ice Age map. Not this one. This one. Yeah, the Sunda Peninsula. The what's it called? I don't know. But guys, 12,000 years ago, this was Indochina. Can't imagine that. And this was the world. Okay, let's go. Hmm, this is interesting. Yeah, quite interesting. And Maldives are a lot smaller than other islands. Representation is a lot different than Europa Universalis for. Alright, let's go. Welcome to the second week of Tinto Talks, where I talk about the design we have for our new top secret game, okay, which we refer to as Project Caesar. I'm sorry, I'm from the future. I know it's European Universal's 5. Today we'll delve into everyone's favorite topics, maps. Let's begin with the projection we chose for this game. In the past, we have used the Mer Mercator or Miller projection. I don't know what this is. Which has some severe drawbacks, as you are all aware of, as we are restricted to a cylindrical map. Yeah, that is European ourselves for. We had to pick the least bad of them, which is why we went with the goals stereotypical projection. Okay, why is that a good one? Well, it keeps areas we care most about, those in the middle latitudes, bigger without making the poles ridiculously oversized or the equator too undersized. It also has a reasonable conformal shape, meaning that the shape of the continents stays the closest to their real areas and angles without sacrificing a recognizable shape of them. Now this, again, I don't know what this is. I don't know where the islands over here are. This isn't the full map. In most of our games set in the past, we have used this world of province for the smallest piece of clay on the map. However, with the map design we are doing for this game, it does not really thematically fit, as the map is more granular and what people associate with a real world province would not fit. So we went to a terminology we had to use in the code since the first game we made in the old Europa engine, which was location. So now our smallest subdivision is referred to as location, while a group of locations is a province, and a group of provinces is an area, and a group of areas is called a region, and a group of regions is called a subcontinent, a continent.